What's keeping that frame from falling over once we put that door in?
It has enough of a footprint that it won't fall over if it feels tippy to you. We've never come across where it's felt like it was tippy. It stands there. It's got a big enough footprint where um, it allows you to stand there while you're assembling the other wall section. And then when you have the other wall section done and in place, then it's 100% stable, not going anywhere.
All right, thank you.
Yep, good question. So here we're showing you how to screw in a screw. That was awesome. Now everybody knows how to do that. But really what it's showing you is that we're going to use about 6 screws along this side. There are no pre-drilled holes in here, but where you can see this person's foot right here, what we were doing is we were moving those doors because we have to get them flush to the front, level and plumb. We were moving the door, sliding the door as far to the inside as possible. So we were getting that edge as far over as we can, which created a bigger gap on the other side. No big deal because it's covered with trim or just not noticeable. But it's just good to orientate or register the door somehow. We're doing it on the inside of the fixture here. So just grab a hold of it, pull it over, make sure it's kind of square on the inside there, and you'll be good. Couple of things to note because we don't want to do things twice or 3 times. When you are facing this patio door fixture, the wood display will always be to the front of the store. So stand in front of it. It should always be to the left. I think that these pictures are swapped. Dale, Phil, looks backwards to me, right? When you're facing this, the wood door will always be towards the front of the store. So just when you orientate yourself to the store and you're installing the wood, just make sure it's towards the front of the store and towards the raceway.
Neil, did you mention that it's about 24 inches from the edge of the carpet to the back of the?
I did not because I'm going to get to that step here in a second.
Just thought it would be easier than trying to move it after.
Yeah. Yep. And when I say complete alignment on the deck, what I'm meaning is that this T-wall section, this weldment, will be all the way at the front of the deck. The deck is the green carpet. It's angled. It has like a 45-degree angle. That whole thing needs to sit within the green carpet. It can't. Menards hates it when the fixtures are up over up over the they've got this rubber rail that goes around. Um, it has to be on the green carpet. So instead of getting the wall section assembled and then doing the T-wall, we assembled the T-wall as 2 people were doing the other fixture, and then that just helps you so you can get this particular fixture in place, and then that allows you to line up the patio wall section as well. So, and see how we did it right down there at the bottom. And as Phil said, it's 24 inches from the front to the patio door. But if you do it with the T-wall, it's all going to align itself anyway. Now that bracket that we just talked about or that it just showed, Phil would tell you to mount that before you put this top rail in on the floor because it's a lot easier. Right, Phil?
That's correct.
That's correct. That's what Phil would do. Okay, now we're getting into kind of the final parts of this. We showed in the video adding these bottom brackets. We showed in the video adding the top brackets. These were the ones that we weren't using in most of the stores, but you can add them as filler pieces if you'd like, and they actually connect to the back wall if you need to at the bottom. But we've got lots of connections happening here, so we're good. Here we're showing the adding of that patio door bracket. Again, I think that this is flipped, so if you're looking at this and the front of the store is where my cursor is, this would go over on the vinyl side. So I noted down here the patio door angle bracket is only used on the vinyl window. Or I'll put door, it's actually door. Now we're showing the graphics and how to mount those. If you remember that wall section had, we were showing you to apply the graphics and that you have narrow graphics and short graphics. There's a front graphic and a back graphic. Each one has the same image and we're showing you what that image makes up here. Depending upon the orientation of your store, you may have a complete scene happening. You always have a complete scene happening on one side, but when you flip it over, we don't have a mirrored image. So what you have to look for is just make sure when you're mounting this inside of that frame that the house lines up and the trees line up and you don't have this panel here and this one over here because then you wouldn't make your individual scenes then. So just pay attention to those, and when you get it up in place and it's all correct and looking good, most of it gets covered up by fixture anyway. On the patio door side, they're behind the doors so you barely see them. And then on the other side there's fixtures that are in front of it anyway. One thing to note on these side rail graphics, and we'll mention it a couple of times here, we need you to trim a 1/4 inch off the bottom of this just so that they fit within the fixture a little bit better. So do that. And then we've provided these side graphic support brackets, and you can see where those are going on the inside here. We have holes in here to screw them into the fixture, but quite honestly, we've just been putting double-sided tape, thin tape on both ends, and then sliding it and taping it in place because it's really just to keep that graphic from bowing in or out in the middle.
Trim that 1/4 inch, just take it off of the bottom and you can cut with a utility knife from the top side as long as you have a straight edge to use.
Yeah. Or if you're really good, like I was, you don't need a straight edge. But if you're not really good, use a straight edge, get it nice and clean.
What are you trying to say, Neil?
That I'm really good. Okay, so do all that. Life is going to be good. This JELD-WIN, that'll be self-explanatory, that larger graphic that goes on the front of the patio door display. And then we're installing the window stickers on here. We're showing you the ones that aren't needed. You're going to have a JELD-WIN rep at most of the sites that you're going to go to. They're going to help you with where the stickers go and all of that. So utilize them as needed. They're not there to help you install. They're there to help you, give you guidance on graphics and positioning of fixtures and windows and things of that nature. Here we're showing how the graphics look orientated in the frame. And then we're getting into the assembly of the other fixtures to the patio door. One thing to note on this as well, this 4-window display will always go towards the front of the store. That means that your wider panels shown here need to be towards the front of the store as well because there are corresponding holes that are going to hold all of this together. And then adding trim to the patio door display. Remember the thick and thin application of this. On this particular one, you will want to use tape because you don't have a nail fin to glue to. But use an adequate amount of tape. We were using 5 pieces along the sides and then 5 pieces on the interior. You'll use the thin tape for that because it's interior trim. We're showing you what an acceptable corner looks like here, but again, this isn't rocket science. It just takes a little bit of time in getting things positioned and then taped in good. And then we're good to go. That concludes that fixture, which was fun. Any questions? Okay, we're moving on. Once you have this done, life gets incrementally easier for you. And this isn't difficult. It just takes a little bit of time because there's quite a few components that put it all together.